good morning, loves, and thank you for joining me back in the kitchen this morning. So we got the kiddos their breakfast. We started. It got blah blah. Let's bring it on back and start this over. I don't know what it is about this week, but I've been getting so tongue-tied, and it's not working for me, y'all. It's not working. We got the kiddos all their breakfast. We got all the chores done, and we started school. So they're doing their independent work right now. Whenever I can get them on their independent work, that's when I can get my stuff done. Like I can get my dishes done. I can make videos with y'all. I can, you know, do my doings, what I need to personally do. Now, I typically edit later in the evening. Um, it's just not plausible during the day. So, like early mornings after my husband goes to work, while my children are still sleeping, I can edit, and that's normally when you'll see I start posting stuff. Um, I used to post every time I made a video. I would do the video, I would edit it. Well, it's not even editing because I'm not good at editing. I have not figured out how to do that yet. I've got into YouTube Studios. I don't know if it's different on other people's devices, but it doesn't let me edit. It doesn't let me add multiple videos together. And that's the thing. I have like hundreds of good videos, but they're broken up into multiple videos and I need to bring them together. Now I tried that oh, it's on my laptop. Chimp something. Chimp. I don't know, something like that. And it actually worked. Like I was getting the videos together, but there's certain parts that's so tricky that I don't know how to do it. And then I uploaded one to YouTube, and this was like last winter. It's still not uploaded. Like it's there, but it's not. And it was actually a really good video. I've done tons of bake with me where um, normally every weekend on the Sabbath, I'll do a bake-a-thon. And that's when, you know, everybody's relaxing, doing their Sabbath, just resting, relaxing, obtaining from any work. We are Sabbath keepers here at our home, and that's all fine, but I like to bake, and of course, my family loves my baked goods, so they do not last long, and especially I have to make a lot of them because one batch is not enough for my family. So, anyway, I'm trying to get through that, but it's caused me a lot of it's cost me a lot of content that I need to put out. I desperately want to put out, but I don't know how. So if anybody happens to know um like how to really edit or a good free software thingy that I can use, please let me know in the comments. Please help me out because it's very stressful and it's mind-boggling, and I don't have the time for it. Like I've tried researching it, I've tried watching YouTube videos on it, but I don't take in a lot of content. The stuff that I watch is pertains to like homesteading, farming, gardening, um, homemaking, homeschooling. I don't know if I said that already. And then true things like what's really going on in the world. We do not have cable here. We are anti-cable, and I don't like the trash that's on TV. I don't want my children exposed to that. I don't want that opening any open doors to where bad juju can come into my home or to us. So we're streamers. Like we do have Netflix. We do not do Disney. We used to have Disney Plus. However, we have not had Disney in a while, like a couple years, like a year or two, maybe longer. Um, but we'll do Netflix. We do um, Amazon, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube. Um, what other streaming things do we have? There's a Faith one, and I can't remember what it is. Candace Cameron Bure, if I pronounced that right, it's her thing. Faithflix, that's what it is. Faithflix. We do have that. Bless you. Um, so we'll do streaming because then we can control what our children are watching. It's age appropriate for all their different ages, and we can also control, what we see and stuff. And it's just it's easier and better for us. So if y'all have cable or something, that's fine. If it works for y'all, that's great. There's, no hate, more power to you. It's just personally for us in our house. Daddy's off. He had an early day. No. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, so yeah, so that's just what we do, and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. I know back when I did our first channel, the ministry, it was so easy. I did so many lives. Like, if you go to Abiding in God's Grace Ministry, it has the same thumbnail, like picture, as this channel. So it's literally me in my gold shirt. So that way people know, hey, that's mine. But I did lives all the time, like literally every single night, and we did a lot. We did Bible studies, scripture reading. I loved that channel. But when that house fire happened, I really struggled. I struggled bad. I started questioning things. I got super depressed. Like, that was a very hard time. I've been through so much in my life, and I finally felt like, wow, like, I got my break. You know what I mean? Like, everything that I went through, it's okay. It was worth it because I came out on top, and now is my time to have peace. I fought. Like, I can't stress that enough to y'all. I fought so hard for so many years to get away from toxic people, abusive people, and to have peace. Not only peace for myself, but at the time I was a single mom to my oldest. So peace for, well, my oldest, peace for us. And then when that fire happened, it took me to just a really sad, depressed place. And I was just like, I can't go through it anymore. Like, I'm tired of always being the strong one. I'm tired of always having to go through crap. Like, I know people mean well, and it is true. God does give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, and that is true. But when y'all are in the thick of it, and it's constant going through it, it's like, all right, enough is enough. Like, please just let me have peace. And that's all I want. Like, y'all want to know my true heart's desire? It's this. Being able to I just want a farmhouse, not this, but I want to build our farmhouse with a lot more land. I mean, we have a lot of land, but I want more land, and I just want to be able to homestead with my husband and farm, and I want us to be able to homeschool our children together. I want to be able to be at peace and be kind of secluded to where it's just us, our animals, and thriving with our relationship with God and our family. Plus, I also want a lot of land because back in 2019, before the world lost its mind, before the pandemic, God really put it on my heart to, hey, you need to create a storehouse like Joseph did, where, Joseph had the dreams and he knew that famine was coming, and God put it on him to be able to store food and grain in the storehouse. And that helped the Egyptians, and not only the Egyptians, but it helped so many people in all surrounding areas. They were all coming to Egypt to get, their rations, or however you pronounce it, their portions, put it that way. Um, and God really laid that on me, like, hey, you need to prepare, you need to store up in your storehouse. And then he also put it on my heart to have a community, like acquire a big chunk of land. That way, whoever he sends our way, not even family and friends, just even strangers, whoever he sends our way, we are to help them. And so if we have a lot of property, we can build lots of houses and provide people with that for free. Like, the only thing is, in order to be part of the community, all you have to do is literally, truly, with all your heart, believe in the Lord God. You need to be born again. And you need to abide by his rules, his commandments, his statutes. Not our rules, his rules, because that's how we live, and it's staying true to God and his word and what God intended for us, getting back to that. Um, and then help work the land, you know what I mean? And that's it. Everything else we will provide, and making sure that we have a storehouse that is, its own building, that we store everything, like preserve everything in there. And then our house and every other house will have a fully loaded pantry of stored up stuff. So that's what God put on my heart back then. That's what I'm working towards. It's not, I'm not selfish at all. I always put other people before me, to my detriment. Um, my family used to call me a doormat, and it's true. Like, I always put others before myself. And that's just who I am. I have a huge heart, but it's never just for me and my family. I'm always thinking of others too. And I know what it's like to need help and not have anybody to help you. I've, you know, I've been in long relationships where, I was with somebody for 10 to 15 years and wanted, the family, the marriage, the children, and a child came, but there was no marriage. And now I know that that was a good thing, because that would have been absolutely horrible. But I'm saying, like, I've been there. I've been the single mom, having to work 3 jobs to support myself and my child, because I did not get help from the father. I did not get no child support at all, and I'm not the type of person to go after that. Um, Not that you should. I'm just the type of person, I'm not going to force anybody to do something. You don't want to be a parent? That's on you. You're not affecting me. You don't want to contribute? That's on you. At the end of the day, my children will know mama's got their back. Mama worked hard. My oldest knows. You know, they know that I work 2 to 3 jobs to support us. Even with a broken back, coming home after pulling doubles or this and that, bawling, unable to barely move, at the end of the day, I push through. You know, um, I don't let things hold me down, but I know what that's like. I know what that's like to, like I said, be the single mom. I know what that's like to work multiple jobs and have no time for yourself, and barely time for, with your child, because you're working all the time. I know what it's like to live in Section 8 housing in the ghetto. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be on medical assistance, food stamps. I've been through that, and God pulled me through, and I just kept working and working. I remember when my oldest was a baby, getting ready to be a toddler, I had set the goal that I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to do it on my own. And I did. I did. And I remember the day that I moved, and I got a really nice big townhome right smack in the dead center of Bel Air, Maryland, which is, they consider it like very a wealthy area. But I did that. I worked hard. I worked very hard to get us there. And I was so proud of myself. And nobody could take that from me. Nobody could say, you wouldn't have that if it wasn't for me, or I did that, or I paid for that, or this, that, and the third. No, I did that. So I'm an over well-rounded person. That's why I'm a very empathetic person, and I understand everybody needs help at one time. So that's the whole goal with the community. Like, yeah, it'll be our farm, obviously. And that's my legacy that I want to leave for my children and my future grandchildren, great grandchildren, to where they don't ever have to worry. The land will be there, the structures will be there, the houses, the barns, the animals, the livestock, mating, they're constantly bringing it in. I know that mine will be taken care of. And that's the biggest thing is, when my parents died, I didn't have them to fall back on. Or, you think if you need a place to stay, if something, God forbid, goes wrong and you don't have a place to stay, you can always go back home to your parents. You need help, this and that, and I didn't have that. And I'm used to doing things on my own just because my parents were alive and there. I didn't like to ask them for help or bother them. I only did it here and there, but it was very rare. And even when I did have to move back in with them, I contribute. I bought all the groceries for the house. I would do the cooking, the cleaning on top of working, or I'd pay rent, which they never wanted. They would just put in a safe and be like, oh, here's every bit of rent you gave me. I love my parents. My parents never charged me. Never. Because they took care of me and I took care of them. I helped, when your parents, they're supposed to take care of the children. No matter how old you are, it's a parent's job to take care of your children. When your parents become old, it's then your job to take care of them. And I did that. I helped take care of my abuela until she died. I took care of my padre until he died. The man literally died in my arms while I was 9 months pregnant. Like, I took care of my family. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's very hard when you don't have that. And if I can be the salt of the earth and be a light in darkness for people, that's what I want. I want it to be a community. Nope, I see my husband just went through, sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta go get my coffee pot. I know. I'm always ranting and raving. But anyway, just know that that's what the community is for. Anybody needs it, it's there. I'm not there yet, obviously. I can't do that here, but that's my goal. That's my dream. And here we are in 2025, and God put that on my heart back in 2019. I'm working for it. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is making my apple loaf. Now, the cool thing about this is you can use fresh apples, you can use apples that you've canned, or you can use applesauce. So, I don't have any fresh apples, I don't think. Are we out of apples, y'all? Okay, yeah. Thank you. We're completely out of fresh apples. But I do have canned apples. However, I'm not using those because that's what I use for like my apple pies. And so I'm going to show y'all how to make my apple loaf with applesauce. Nobody can tell that you used applesauce. My family loves it, let me tell you. I got some picky eaters. And they go nuts. Like, the loaf does not last even a day. So, if you're in a pinch, if you don't have money, regardless if you're a low-income family, you're a single mom, y'all are struggling, y'all don't have all the ingredients, or think of it when the world goes bad and you can't go to the grocery store, this and that, I'm going to show you how you can provide something yummy. And this is great for breakfast, it's great for a snack, or even dessert. So, I have a big mixing bowl. You do not need it this big. However, all my other bowls either have dough rising in them or like salad in them that's in the fridge. So we're just going to use this bowl because it's easier. So I'm going to get my coffee, and then we're going to get started. Plus, I'm going to do voice to text so my husband knows what to pick up. We need cat litter, dry cat food, wet cat food. What else do I need? Woo! I need not to drip everywhere. Are you doing your work, Elizabeth? All right. My voice to text put wet cat food, not to drip everywhere. I was doing voice to text to Daddy to let him know what he needs to pick up, and I dripped some of my coffee, and I literally said wet cat food and not to drip everywhere. It accidentally picked it up. Your father would have been so confused, like, what are you dripping? What does that have to do with cat food? Lord have mercy. Oh, I need him to stop at the Amish to get me some oranges so I can make my orange juice. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so I need him to get cat litter, stop, and get the organic dry cat food. Okay, alright, I got my coffee. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so what you're gonna need, I don't want to make this too long, and I'm sorry for the pauses. I have not had that much coffee today, even though I've been up since early this morning. I have not drinking, yeah, I've not drunk that much. So, what you're gonna need, I don't even know how many sugars I put in there. You're gonna need a mixing bowl. It does not matter the size, because you don't even need a real big one, but I would not get a tiny one. Okay, now y'all can use whatever type of applesauce you want. I make my own, so I just do cinnamon. I don't need to add cinnamon because I already did it when I canned. I make a bunch of different batches, and then I end up needing my mason jars, so I'll just take it and pour it in one of these. I have like 5 of these that I save. They're in my one china cabinet that's in or one room. So I keep that. But you're gonna need a half cup of sugar, 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, a half cup of olive oil, 2 eggs, and 1 cup of applesauce. Now, the cool thing about this is I've made all different kinds. If you don't want apple flavored, you can do any type of fruit sauce. So, like, when I can my blueberry, blackberry, or strawberry jams, you can put that in there instead of applesauce. Um, any fruit you want to do, pears, anything like that, go for it. So I will show y'all. This is my applesauce loaf. I'm trying to get my nails out of the way. So, see, that's it. And I have only a couple recipes up here. That way, if my oldest wants to come in and try, bam, it's there. I would say my husband too, but my husband's not a baker. So, we'll just leave that to the professionals, you know what I mean. But nonetheless. Alright. My milk. Milk. Did you get your 3 papers done, sweetie? Okay, well, let's get her done. Alright, just put that there. I'm so sorry for the stirring. But I need it. I need the coffee. There's something about coffee that just, you know, those old books and the old show, Chicken Soup for the Soul? Yeah, well, coffee for the soul. That's what I need. Coffee and Jesus. Actually, if you go to our ministry, I did a segment where we have a good amount of episodes, and I want to bring that back so bad. So let me know in the comments below if y'all would be interested in me bringing that back. But to this channel, it was called Coffee with Jesus, or Coffee and Jesus. And what we would do, we would get together every single morning. Like, I would talk to my subscribers and see what time works best for them. And, you know, a lot of them would be like, oh, 8 o'clock would be perfect for me, or 9 o'clock. And then the majority was like, just go ahead and do whatever time, because we'll be watching it, you know, on the way to work or when we get home. So I did 2. I would do the Coffee and Jesus every morning, where we get our coffee and we come together. It's okay if you're in your jammies or if you're fully dressed, and we would just read scripture together and talk, and it was so much fun. Like, I loved doing that, and I missed doing that. And then every evening we would come together for a women's Bible study. Now, with the ministry, like on Facebook, we have a men's group that is strictly just for men and boys, and my husband and the one deacon of our old church would help out with that. And then we have the women's group, which I do, and then there's another group that I did, things, something along the lines of things I wish my mother would have taught me. My mom, I love my mom so much, but my mom never taught me how to be a woman. My mom never taught me how to cook. She never taught me any of that. My abuela did. And I got really sad because I forget what happened, but I had a lot of women, like young women, ranging from teenager to 18 to 20s, even people in their 30s and 40s, reach out to me. And I remember I literally, after I got done talking to these amazing women, I took like a couple days off social media, because I'm a very empathetic person, and I don't care if I highly dislike somebody. I could loathe you. If you're hurting, I'm there for you. If I see you cry, I'm gonna bawl. Like, I think that's probably why I've been hurt and taken advantage of so many times in my life, is because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm very in tune with, you know, being sensitive and in tune with my emotions. I'm very empathetic. So I have a huge heart, and I don't like to see people hurting and upset. And they were just like, you know, I don't know how to cook. And when they got to be on their own, they didn't know how to cook for themselves. And then a lot of them, when they got into a relationship, whether they were dating, engaged, or married, they didn't know how to cook for them and their husbands. They couldn't, you know, and they felt really bad. Like, I want to be able to cook for my man. And then when they even had children, and I wept. Like, I just remember bawling so hard with how many women are out there, girls and women, girls, young ladies, and women that don't know how to do things. And society will judge us. Okay, society, culture, the world, men, they judge us. Heck, even other women do. And it's like, dude, it's not our fault. We were never taught these things. You don't know what you don't know. And if nobody taught you, it's you know what I mean? That's not your fault. And that really broke me, but then it also brought back a lot of suppressed hurt that I went through. Like a mom. Oh, Lord. A mom is supposed to teach you how to be a girl. And a mom is supposed to teach you how to be a young lady and a young woman, and teach you how to be a wife and a mom, and how to do these things. And when you don't have that, it makes it really hard. And it's heartbreaking, especially when you see other people who have amazing moms. And you're like, man, I'd give anything to have a mom like that. So that was really hard for me. And I'm like, it's okay. I didn't have that either. My father, Padre, taught me how to brush my hair right and use a blow dryer. My abuela taught me how to be a lady. And, she taught me, she used to make me walk with, to make sure that my posture was straight and that I didn't slouch like this or hunch over, that I was straight. I would have to walk with books on my head. And sometimes it was annoying, but it was kind of fun. And then she taught me, like, she would set up her table with really fancy dinnerware, her china, and be like, this fork is for this, that fork is for that. So she taught me the differences between the knives, the forks, the spoons. And I'm like, I'm never going to need this. But she taught me etiquette. And that's something that's lost in today's world. A lot of women, I think, really, once feminism took over, you know, women thought that it was empowering them. It's really not. It actually hinders them, but nonetheless, um, my abuela taught me. My padre and my abuela taught me everything I know, and I also had to learn things on my own through trial and error. I love learning. No matter in what area, I love to learn. So I'm really good with a lot of things because I put the time and effort into it. So once I took that break from it and I came back, I was like, all right, I'm going to be that woman for other women. I'm the type of woman, I'm not going to ever bring down another woman. I'm the type to go around and I'm going to fix your crown. I'm going to help you. I don't want the credit for it. I don't, no, I'm doing this because I have a genuine love for people. And I just want to see everybody happy. Everybody happy, thriving. I want to see them loved and to love others in return. And I'm a hopeless romantic. I love love. I want everybody to be happy and have a good life. I don't think that's too much to ask. This world is hard enough and it's dark enough to, you don't need people going around tearing other people down and bringing them down. And I think that's my biggest thing, why I avoided females so much. I never liked females like that. Certain ones, yes, but I don't like the gossiping, the cattiness, the, oh, I'm gonna, ruin your life, or I'm gonna, conniving. I don't like that. I cannot relate to that. I'm too laid back and mellow for that. I always got along more with the guys because of that, because I don't do the drama. Like, if I hear something, I'm not gonna go run my mouth. I'm gonna come straight to you and we'll hash it out. That's just how I am. Take it or leave it. So, that's my little rant. You're going to need a loaf pan like this. You can do bigger, but if you're going to do bigger than this, and this is it's KitchenAid 9 by 5 by 3 inches, 23 by 13 by 8 centimeters. So, like that, and that's how deep it is. If you're going to do a bigger pan than this, you're going to want to do more ingredients, I have found, because it'll thin it out, and you don't want it thin. You want it to, you know, rise up, so it'll be above your loaf pan. Plus, it's easier to get out. And then I have my 1 cup, and I have my bread whisk. I got this from Bread Bosses. I saw Becky from, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I forgot her channel. Acre Homestead. I think that's what it is. I know it has acre in it. But anyway, she had this. A lot of people I watched, Jessica from Story Rivers had this, and it made things a lot easier. So years ago, I was like, oh, I need that. I told my husband, I was like, I really need this. It'll make my life so much easier. And he got it for me. And it's cool because it comes with a scraper too. You know, well, I think I used it the other day, so that sucks. Alright. Ooh, slippery little suckers. I got my nutmeg. I got my sugar. I also like to put honey in it, but if you don't want honey, that's fine. You can also add like ground allspice or apple pie spice, or the pumpkin, stuff like that. But I'm just sticking with the normal apple. So I'm gonna go ahead and do. You know what? Let me just go ahead and get my flour. I keep flour in mason jars. However, my big tub of it, I ran out, so I just grabbed this. Now, y'all can use whatever you want, but I use unbleached flour. I will not use bleached flour. And I have 1/3 cup in that, so we're just going to take that out. Actually, I should have had everything ready, but I was just going to go ahead and do this, and I thought, hey, why don't I be nice and bring people along? If people don't want to watch it, that's fine, but let me tell you something. In a pinch, this could help you. In an emergency, this could help you. I mean, y'all got to think that in a crap hits the fan situation, what are you going to do? Like, honestly, I don't like to be gloom and bloom. I'm the sunshine and rainbows, positively bubbly one, but I'm also a realist. If the pandemic that we went through taught me anything, it's things, you know, I always knew growing up, let me say this, because my family became American citizens, and I was first generation American. So I got the best of both worlds. I know, you know, I love my country. I am proud to be an American. My family fought hard for their citizenship. They did it the right way, which is why all this immigration and illegal things has me so bent. Like, it's basically spitting in the face of my family and thousands of others that worked hard and busted their butts to come to this country legally. But I'm not going to go in a rant there. Just saying. Just saying. America is a great country. It really is. We are very blessed and fortunate in this country. And we are heavily reliant on convenience, whereas other countries are not. So, what are you going to do when something happens? And when the pandemic happened, I think that was a huge wake-up call for people. People were panicking, like, we can't go to the store, this and that. I already know how to grow food. If you don't know how to grow food, you need to try. It's okay if you, oh, pardon me, if you live in an apartment, you can still grow. It won't be as big as like a homestead or a farm, but you can still grow something. If you have a balcony, I've seen tons of people grow all kinds of fruit, vegetables, herbs. Just try small. If you've never gardened, you've never grown anything, start small. Try it. And then work your way up. The worst thing, okay, and please, please hear me with this. The worst thing you could ever possibly do is wait until something happens to learn how to do something. Don't do that. You need to be able to know how to grow your own food, how to be able to start from seeds and grow, what to look out for, how to cook homemade from scratch, and this and that. So that's very, very important. Very important. Don't wait until you don't have that option, especially with, social media like YouTube. YouTube is an amazing platform, y'all. An amazing platform to learn stuff. Take advantage of it. Learn how to do stuff. And then when something does happen, while everybody else is going around like a chicken with their head cut off and they're panicking, y'all don't have to go out into that craziness. Y'all can sit up in your house and be like, yeah, I'm good. I know, let's just, let's get into the garden. Or you already have established gardens. You already have a pantry that's packed. I'm just telling you. I see a lot coming. And I hope for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. That's just the type of person I've always been. And I'm telling y'all right now, it may not be this year, but within the next couple years, y'all are going to wish that you took my advice. Store up. Don't put that off. Alright, so 1 cup of flour into our mixing bowl. Alright, now I need a 3/4 of a cup. 3/4. 3/4. Oh, that's not good. Where? Oh, Lord have mercy. Where's? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I know what I did with them. I know. Yep, got it. Okay, y'all, sorry. I have stuff on my table. We're redoing our classroom, so it's like a madhouse in there. But I have stuff to the side to do a cookie day, so. Now I have 3/4. So I already put my 1 cup of flour into my mixing bowl. Now you're going to take 3/4 of flour and add that to your mixing bowl. And hopefully I can use up the rest of this flour, actually. Yep, okay. Now I got a tiny bit. 3/4. Add that to the bowl. Bloop. There we go. Actually, I will use the rest of this tonight. I didn't know what I was going to make for supper. However, I think I'm just going to make like my chicken broccoli pasta. It's a hit here. It's not a treat, Stinky. It's not a treat. No, it's not. It's flour. Kitties can't have flour. No, they can't. Alright. What, baby? I see you. I see you, you Stinky. I see you. Oh, there's a baby. I know. I know. Okay. 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 Alright. Ew! No claws. No. Alright. Now, you're going to want to do 1 teaspoon of salt. I like sea salt, so y'all know I have my big thing of sea salt, but Badia, man, Badia, y'all should be sponsoring me. I'm just saying, as much as I use y'all's stuff, but I just do a little bit of this. So 1 teaspoon of salt. I use sea salt, but y'all can use what you want. And then I always add a little bit of turmeric, and I do ground turmeric and ground ginger. You don't have to, but the health properties that are in it is absolutely amazing. Again, Badia ground ginger. So, just make sure that, you know, y'all can do the recipe how you want. It's just, I'm all about... Okay. I need a little bit of nutmeg. I really don't do measurements. I'm bad with that, but I'm used to eyeballing it. Okay, a half cup of sugar. Okay, half cup is the sugar, and we add it in. Bam. Okay, now if I can just, pardon me, I need to get my honey. Honey. What, honey? Baby, you do not have 15. I just wanted to see if you did the 3. I know that there's more. Lord have mercy. Okay, so we did the sugar, the flour, the salt. Now I do need baking powder and baking soda. Please don't make a mess. Okay, so you want a half teaspoon of baking soda. And I have a half tablespoon in here. You know what? That's okay. Huh. Ask and you shall receive. Thank you, Lord. Alright. Now Mama's working with it. You want a half teaspoon of baking soda. A half teaspoon. So let's get my tablespoon. I always keep a half tablespoon in here for like when I'm making my bread, because you mix it with your yeast. Why can't I reach it? Oh, no. Okay, so I have a half teaspoon of baking soda. Add that in. Okay, put you back in there. Go right there. Okay. Now we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So again, I'm just going to use my half, and half makes 1, half, and half makes 2. All right. Okay. So we did the sugar, the flour, the salt, the baking powder, the baking soda, did the nutmeg. Now you want 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Got my brown sugar. All right. Ground cinnamon. Half and half makes 1. Okay. I said 1, right? Yeah. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can add more if you like. I don't, because I make homemade cinnamon applesauce. So because I make cinnamon applesauce and I already have cinnamon in it, I don't add more than that. It's just, it's too much then. Way too much. And I like cinnamon, don't get me wrong, but I'm not huge on it. Alright, so now we need a half cup of olive oil. I don't know how I'm going to do this because that's what's holding y'all up. Stay. This is what I use. Extra virgin olive oil. So, just going to do a half cup of it. It's a little more than a half cup. Alrighty. Alright, y'all, pardon me. Just put y'all right back there. Okay, now you want 1 whole cup of your applesauce or your fruit sauce, whichever you prefer. So, 1 very full cup of applesauce or your fruit. Now, I always do the oil and then this for 2 reasons. The first reason is when you put your oil first, you have no applesauce left in the cup because of the oil. So it literally slides the fruit sauce, applesauce or fruit sauce, right out of your cup. For 2, if there's any leftover oil, which normally, is on the sides, it absorbs into the applesauce and the applesauce gets it out. So it's a win-win. Bless you. You're welcome. What? I said bless you, and then I said you're welcome. You're welcome. In a minute. And that's it. Oh no, 2 eggs. I'm sorry, 2 eggs. My nail. 2 eggs. 2. Oh, I don't have my... Oh, I do have my composting. Yeah. Bless you. Okay. One egg. Bloop. 2 egg. Alright. And just like so, we're ready to go. Now, if there's anything else that you want to add, go ahead. We did a half cup of sugar, 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, a half cup of olive oil, 1 whole cup of applesauce or your fruit sauce, and then 2 eggs. I also added ground ginger, ground turmeric, honey, and that's it. So, I really wish I could show y'all this. But I'm gonna end up making a mess, I know me. Yeah, it ain't happening. I tried. And just mix it all up. But figure we'll get this going, and then I gotta go check on my dough for my other bread. Oh, that reminds me. I need him. Bless you. Ow! No! Oh, this cat. I'm sorry, I did not mean to yell in y'all's ear. Stupid cat. Oh, that made me so mad. she does this. She hasn't done it for a while, actually, but she will get a hair upper and she jumps and sinks all her claws. And because she's still a baby kitten, her claws and teeth are so sharp. So sharp. And she'll climb me. Daddy's almost home. Poor guy. I know he's got to hike to get to work and then to get home. The good thing is, though, we don't have neighbors like that. Like, we don't have towns around us or this and that. The only thing that is around us is farms and the Amish. So I love that, and I love going to the Amish. I really do. I grew up, like, when I lived in PA with my mom and dad, I grew up around a lot of Amish Mennonites, so I've always had a lot of respect and love for them. You know what? Let's add just a smidge of vanilla. I normally don't do it, but I do sometimes. Just the tiniest bit. But anyway, they live very similar. Like, I have a lot of respect for them and their lifestyle. That's kind of what I want. I mean, we do. It's just, I'm trying to get to where we can obtain more, to be able, not only for us, but like I said, to help other people. That's always been, when I was a little girl, I used to have this dream, and I had it, I mean, when I was really little. I wanted to get a huge place, like, I mean, the biggest building you could ever imagine. And I wanted two of them. One for every homeless and abandoned animal in the world. They will come there. They'll be fed. They'll get love. They'll be protected, and that will be their home. And then the other biggest building in the world was going to be for all the homeless people. That way they could come in. They would have each have like their own apartment, and it would be fully furnished. It would have a bed, and they would have pillows and comfy sheets and tons of clothes and a shower and be able to cook. And there would be a community center where we all come together and we eat together and we can play games and, you know, just everything that they would need just right there to help them. Because here's the thing, there is a huge stigma with when it comes to homelessness, and I hate it. Like, I don't like using the word hate, but in this particular instance, I really do hate it. A lot of people think that if you're homeless, that you're a drug addict or you're a bum or this and that's not the case. Once you lose everything and become homeless, it is damn near impossible, excuse my language, but it is almost impossible to get yourself up out of that. So hard, because here's the thing. It A lot of them, now yes, there are some addicts and some, you know, whatever, but a lot of people are just trying to survive. They want a home. They want to get back to that, but you have to walk to work. So you got to find a place that will actually hire you. And you're living outside, so you don't have a vehicle. So you're trying to walk to the job. And it doesn't matter if it's raining or snowing or any of that. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, or if it's just a really bad storm. You gotta walk in it. And then you gotta think. Y'all know, okay? I've worked in all different types. I've waitress. Like, I have over 20 years experience as a waitress. I'm a darn good waitress. Like, I was top. I used to have restaurants that would pay me to come in just to open their restaurant. Like, that's how good I was. I would train their waitresses and help them with their, bar test, because you got to take a test on alcohol, and then for the waitresses also with the menu test. I would help them build up their menu, and I would stay there for the first couple months, and I would waitress, and I would get the section that I want. I always got the biggest section. Um, I loved waitressing. I'm a people person, and I'm more introverted now, but I was very extroverted. Like, I loved being around people. I loved it. It was the best job for me. I've worked corporate. I've done all types of job, but waitressing will forever be one of my favorites. Yeah, there's dumb crap with it. You don't get paid that good. I got paid more, obviously, when I was opening the restaurants, and I've done a lot of good ones. Like, I've done Ruby Tuesdays. I've done Dave's Barbecue, or Barbecue Dave's. Oh my goodness, what's that one that I opened up? Pelican Cove, Country Kitchen, Diners, Geno's. Why can't I think of everyone? I've done so many. It's been years, so it's hard to remember all that. But I loved it. I like fast pace. I'm the kind, I don't like to sit. I hate sitting. I constantly need to be going, like go, 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 go. I thrive in that. So waitressing really was one of the best things for me. Um, but yeah, I love doing that. But working in every type of thing that I did, um, it's you have to look the part. Hygiene is a very big thing with any job. It doesn't matter if it's retail, if it's fast food, if it's a restaurant. It does not matter. And a homeless person doesn't have a home. How are they going to shower? How are they going to wash their clothes? So it's like I always wanted to help them because I hate how people look at them. I hate how people treat them. It literally will enrage me. They're people too. They are just like us, except they don't have a home to go, home to. And a lot of people don't want to hire them, or they do get hired, but they wind up getting fired because they can't go shower and wash their clothes and this and that. And also because people are rude. People are very rude. And if they find out that an employee is homeless, instead of being like, wow, this person's trying to better themselves and help them, they're pricks about it and shun them or complain. And it's like, you should not do that. I've seen people do that, and it provokes me. I've been, even when I was younger, back when I was in school, I was a full-time student. This is in high school, and also when I was a full-time college student. And as a full-time high schooler, you're working in fast food, and they would come in and try to see if there was any food in the trash or this and that. And of course the management's like, oh, I want to get them out of there. And then you have the people who are eating in there, the customers, who are being rude as can be towards them. And I'm like, oh no, we're not doing this, cat off. And I would buy them food. And then when I became a manager, like when I was in college, it was very hard for me to do the job that I was doing because I was a full-time college student. So I wound up, because I had to be at school super early and I had so many classes, I wound up being a shift manager at Arby's, and then I also would do waitressing. And I would buy their food, or I always gave them food. You're not going to kick them out. If they need to come in from the rain or the cold, then so be it. So that's when I say, like, I've always wanted to do that. And I know, because I'm older, I know that that dream of mine's not realistic. I wish more than oh my goodness, do I wish more than anything that it was. But I can still make a difference. I can still, one of my favorite quotes is, be the change that you want to see in this world. So if I can't get two of the biggest buildings in the world to do that for the animals and for the homeless, I can get a farm. with a lot of land, and I can help people, and not just helpless, but or not just helpless, not just the homeless, but I can also help those of all categories that need help, whether they're low income, whether they're struggling, or when stuff hits the fan and they have nowhere to go. I want to be the place where people can come. Now, obviously, I don't want bad people there. I don't want anybody who drinks or does drugs. That is a huge no-no. Like, I will never allow that. But if they just want to survive and they just want a peaceful, simple life, I got you. You're going to have to help work the land like we do, and you're going to have to abide by God's rules. You do that, then I'm your girl. If not, then I would never turn down somebody with food. Never. I've never turned away somebody. So if they can't live by that, then I'll give them food. Like, I'll feed you and I'll send you with food, but then you got to keep it moving, because I'm not gonna waver on that. What? Oh, I feel so bad for him. So my husband has been like going all over a couple different counties to try to go to the ATM, because the ATM at our bank is broke. It's down. And the bank closes super early on Friday. So there's that. If I didn't say so already, today's Friday, January 31st, 2025, Pantry Challenge Day 755. I don't know if I said that at the beginning, but there's that. So he's gone to gas stations and different ones, and he did find one 2 counties over, and he had to go to the highs, to the gas station, but it cost us an obscene amount of money just to get a little bit of money out. Yeah. That's ridiculous. And a major ripoff. Highway robbery. Hey! Elizabeth? No, nope, 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 nope. Nope, no. Sorry, y'all. Did not mean to yell in y'all's ear, but I hear bickering. Bickering when there should be no talking because of independent work. Thank you. Oh, the joys of motherhood. Oh. Okay. Well, now that that's done, hopefully there's no more craziness. But here, ooh, that almost came out. Did y'all see that? That's bad. You saw nothing. Dun 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 dun. Alright, here's what it looks like. Now, we're going to go ahead, get your loaf pan. Do one good stir. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep y'all while it bakes, because like I said before, there is no pausing, like no pausing at all with this. I wish I had a pause option. It would leave out a lot of I don't want to say awkwardness, but it kind of is, like where there's no talking or this or that, but I don't have that option. So, one good stir, and now we pour. So, once we put this in the oven, by the way, you want a preheated oven. It depends because all ovens are different, so I don't want to tell y'all how many minutes or like what temperature to do. I would say like between 325 and 350, but it also, like I said, depends on your oven type. I have a very, very old oven, so if something says that you need to cook it at 400, yeah, I need to do like 320. So I can't go super high with this, and it may take me longer, but that's okay. I'd rather do that than have any major issues. So I have my oven. It's been preheating at between like 275 for the past couple hours because I've already used my oven. I like to keep it at a good 200, 275 for when I'm not using it and I'm getting other things ready. So we got that, and now I am just going to get a spatula to put the rest in, like so. And then we're going to put it into the oven, and then I'll do a short showing y'all how it turned out. Now, how do you know when it's done? Because I know I'm probably going to get that question, and I don't want nobody sitting there panicking, because I've been there, done that before. You'll know because it almost is like a cake. Like, it's bread, it's a loaf, an apple loaf, but it will have like a cake appearance. So when it is totally risen a little bit, like right here above your pan, and the top is semi-hard and browned, that's when you know it's done. And then take it out, let it cool down inside your loaf pan. Do not take it out of its loaf pan until after it cooled down, otherwise it will crumble. And you can always take a toothpick and insert it. If it comes out and it's clean, there's nothing on it, or it's like a caking material but it's fully done, you're good. If there's any type of liquid on that toothpick, put that immediately back in your oven. Otherwise, you're gonna get sick. It's not done then. Okay. So, bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Ah! And we're making a mess. But it's okay because I'm the one that cleans up all the messes. Nobody else does. Alright. And just like that, you have an apple loaf. Now, what you can do is you can put chocolate chips in it if you want. I would not put a bunch though. Please don't get her near the thing. Only because I have put a lot, not a lot, but a good bit of chocolate chips in. Normally, it's at my youngest request because she's the one that talks me into putting chocolate in things. However, it changed the whole color of it, and just the whole thing was like chocolatey. I was not a fan of it. I did not like how it looks. I take pride in the appearance of my food as well as the taste, so that was kind of a bummer. But if you want to take like just a couple and just drop them on the top, that's fine. It will taste good, and it won't discolor it or any of that, but I like to just do this. Now, the only thing that I do is I love making strudels. So my blueberry strudel muffins or my chocolate chip strudel muffins are the bomb. They're like chef's kiss. But I take a little bit of sugar, and I'm doing this lightly, very, very lightly. You want to just very lightly coat the top. Do not put a lot in because we already added sugar, and you do not want it to sink in. So I do that. It's barely any. And then once it starts cooking, I'll add the strudel top. And now we're going to go ahead. I am putting my oven at 300 degrees. And we're going to take out, oh crap muffin. No, you know what, I'll just put it on the bottom. No. I keep my stoneware in there. I cook pizzas on that, bagels, you know, whatever needs to be done. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and, nope, I don't like that. Who raised that oven rack? Yeah, I'm going to put you back up here. Because I am not wasting food. Alright. I always like having my rack at the top spot. However, because this is going to rise, I don't want it to touch the top of the oven. So, I just raise it down by one. So, it would be the second loopy thing, the second rack from the top. And then we'll let that go. Now, you want to do it for like 15-20 minutes. Set a timer for 15-20 minutes and then check it. I don't have an exact time to give y'all because I don't do an exact time. It's memory. I'll try to time it. Actually, let me do that for y'all. Hey, Google. Can you set a timer for 15 minutes, please?
Got it. 15 minutes. And that's starting now.
All right. I know, I even use manners with the technology. That's so sad. But I can't help it. Manners were very big to my abuela. And they're very big to me. Like, if my children do not use their manners, oh, well, that makes me mad. That makes me very mad. Like, no. No. I don't like rudeness. And trust me, I'm one of those people, I can kill you with kindness. So, I like the manners. But anyway, I'm just going to set it for 15 minutes, and then we'll check it. And then I'm going to end this. I will start a timer on my tablet. Not like I did with this, but I'll just press start and see how long it takes to let y'all know. All ovens vary. That's why I'm like, I don't want to give y'all an exact one because I don't know your ovens. I have a very, very old oven, like an ancient oven. So, it depends. But, nonetheless, I got my oven set at 300. Got that on 15 minutes. Normally, it takes about 20 minutes, 20-25, but no more than that. However, my oven's also been on since early this morning. I mean, it's not that late. What time is it? Yeah. It's literally almost 12 o'clock. So, it's almost lunchtime. And it's been going since early this morning, so... But that's how you make my applesauce loaf or my apple loaf. You can use fresh fruit. You can use applesauce. You can use fruit sauce. So this is really good, especially if you're working or if you're busy or just having a lazy day. Make it. You will enjoy it. You can drizzle it with glaze. I can show, if y'all look back in my shorts, I show y'all how to make my homemade glaze. You can do icings, which I have all my homemade icing recipes. And I am going to be updating the blog this weekend with all my recipes. So, keep an eye on that. I will see if I can link it in the description below. I'm not going to promise, but I promise to try. So, there's that. And then I'm going to get ready to make us lunch. We are having beef stew for lunch. So, yeah. Thank y'all for joining me. And I hope that y'all enjoy this tasty little treat because it's great, especially with doing the pantry challenge. It's awesome. But even if you're not, if you just want a quick snack, if you just want a yummy snack, whether it's for you or you and your family or you want to gift it to somebody, it's amazing. And if crap ever hits the fan, remember this video. Remember the recipe. A half cup of sugar, 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half teaspoon of nutmeg, a half cup of olive oil, 1 cup of applesauce, fresh fruit or fruit sauce, and 2 eggs. That's all you need. Again, I always add honey, turmeric, and ginger to it. But that's because of its health properties. So, thank y'all for joining me in the kitchen. I will post a short the minute it's done, and I will let y'all know in the short how long it took. So, I love you all. Thank you for joining me. God bless. And remember, today is a good day to have a good day.